This is Sai Panindra from SQL School, and I assure you complete practical training, 1000% hands-on with all my expertise and my love towards Azure. Yes, in fact, our next generation technology. It has been in the market for more than a decade with branding from Azure, then they called it Windows Azure, then now into Microsoft Azure, spanning across all technologies across Microsoft. Yes, we are completely into the practical mode of KT, knowledge transfer sessions. And here are the courses at our school. And we are into box number 12. As you see on our screen, box number 12, the core Azure DBA concepts, part of this course. Assumption, you are already aware of box number 11, core DBA, like you got SQL backup, SQL database backups, restores, jobs, maintenance plan, security, tuning, troubleshooting, HADR, replication, log shipping, mirroring, clustering, or at least the overview of clustering is okay, because in our actual course we are going to practically implement clusters with virtual machines, and on top of clusters we are going to implement always on as well practically. So theoretical knowledge of clustering is enough, just basic overview of what is cluster is enough, but practical implementation of backup, restore, jobs, replication, log shipping, mirroring, security, tuning, troubleshooting, alerts, those are required. I mean, yes, I'm referring to our course and the website, and we are starting with chapter number 28, the core Azure concepts. Assuming you are aware of all chapters from 1 to 27, we'll start with 28 chapters. I request you to go to our website and the Azure DBA curriculum and go through all chapters 1 to 27. Please revise them so that we are good to start with 28. If in case we are very new, then better to start from chapter 1, a separate course altogether anyway. So from chapter 1 it would be plan A, or plan B in case you would like to go for 1, 11, 12. Come on, let's get into our actual core admin concepts. So here it is. So our Azure admin includes the cloud configurations, server, database, and firewall configurations, and more importantly, migrations, possible issues and solutions from on-premise, non-cloud to cloud, or on-premise to Azure migration activities, possible issues encountered during the journey, different types of migrations we need to understand. We have database migrations, data migrations, and schema migrations, cloning options, etc. So in our journey, we need to come across specific tools like Migration Assistant. We have something called as Microsoft Data Migration Assistant. And again, some limitations with respect to the Migration Assistant tools that we need to install in our computers. So we have specific requirements to get these tools to be installed, and limitations of these tools, and additional options from different tools like something called as Azure Data Studio. And we also need to understand about something else called Azure Storage Explorer. So we need to work with multiple tools while working with and coordinating with the cloud or remote data storage operations, security management, We have transparent data encryptions and vulnerability assessments, and we have row level security, something called as RLS, the row level security. Good amount of tuning options, automated and tuning options we need to learn and practice. Data lake storage, stretch databases for cold data in on-premise. For stretch databases, we generally prefer to make use of partitions and compressions. Whereas here we have something called as stretching of databases. Means a part of your database in on-premise and other part of the database, a cold data in Azure. So database divided into two halves, or say two different partitions. One part in on-premise and the remaining part migrated to Azure. Extended event logs, which are similar to and bit like the tuning tools, including the profiler and bit of like profiler, but again there are some differences. Operations would be similar. Interface would be bit like profiler, but the operations are similar. The usage is different. Geo-replication, data sync, server failovers, and virtual machines. Complete 100% practical approach to the clustering operations with always on. Right from the scratch, we'll build Windows clusters, get domain controllers, networks, IP address, and Active Directory configurations, quorum disks. Finally, something called always on availability groups to enjoy the HIDR activities in SQL Server. So both Windows clusters and SQL clusters would be a part of our course. And then we have the Microsoft exam, complete guidance. So for our live classes, the main reason for us to go for weekends, reason number one, especially for clusters, we need to sit for 3 long hours for 2 days. Say for example, one Saturday 3 hours, another Saturday 3 hours. We need to sit for longer duration to get the things continued for implementation. One day we need to configure the Windows clusters. Second day we need to configure SQL clusters and then implement always on. The journey takes 3 into 2, 6 hours only for this particular information. So if it is in case a regular scheduled daily classes, we faced problem. Like for example, we start the cluster setup today and in next 45 minutes, we are left in between. And being weekdays, again, there would be some trouble for few participants to, sit for longer time. So we faced few problems. And even the migration activities as well. It requires 2 hours long session to get everything step by step, a stretch of 2 hours required. And security management, tuning and stretching, they're all a 30 minutes task each. It's not a big deal. So keeping in mind our practice and the focus, the concentration and the continuity of our classes, practice wise, yes, we had weekend classes. In case if we are not able to manage a weekend, you may go for the on-demand video, the same as a live training, but recorded version, same as live training option, the same curriculum in fact. And in case you would like to extend your learning, you can go for Power BI. And with this information, you would be receiving the complete information, this Excel sheet I'm talking about. Now let's get started with what exactly Azure means. And you would be getting the complete day-wise roster, day-wise course plan, the chapter-wise course plan, like what is to be delivered in each chapter. For our Azure DBA course, yes, from chapter number 28 If in case you are looking for chapter number 1 to the end, then you may opt for the core DBA plan. For this particular Azure DBA, it is from chapter number 28 to 1 to 27 prerequisites. Well, so what we are going to learn? We'll start with the cloud basics today. Very next class, we'll understand about the configurations and deployments, specific tools to be installed, and additional server, database configuration, deployments, and firewalls. Then we need to concentrate on connections and migrations, different levels of migrations, including different migration tools, additional files that can be generated from our SSMS tool. In the yellow box, we have the SSMS tool, SQL Server Management Studio, to be used again here to generate something called backpack files, import exports, which are similar to the Excel imports from on-premise, similar to that, but the format would be different. We have something called DTU, data transaction units. These data transaction units would be similar to the server architecture, processor, and memory from your earlier or the basic classes. Scaling options, which is equal to the database architecture file size, increase or shrink of file size. For example, we know how to increase the file size in a particular database, or repair log space issues, TempDB issues, memory issues, wherein we perform shrinking operations during off-peak hours, non-business hours, as and when required. It's not recommended for shrinking during business hours on data files. I'm talking about the log files or TempDB. So similar to that, here we have scaling options which are automated. There it is manual in on-premise, non-cloud. Here it is automatic. Compute and storage, capacity planning, something called elastic queries, which is completely new in Azure. Automated tuning that clearly replaces the DTA tool. The database tuning advisor tool in on-premise gives us recommendations. Similar recommendations here as well in Azure. In on-premise, the DTA tool gives us recommendations whenever we want it to, right? We need to trigger the tool or right click the query and say execution plan, either estimated or actual or say live execution plan. Then we get the recommendation. Here, everything automated background process. Automated background process. And we need to control it, manage, monitor it carefully. We have something called force plans, which are similar to the execution plans, estimated, actual, and live. We have Azure Search, which are the additional indexes that we create for Azure databases. We have something called sharding, which is similar to partitions. Data sync, which is as is replication. In replication, we have primary key. We require something called primary key to implement replication. Friends, I'm taking the things in such a way, assumption. You are aware of the basics, so planning for core Azure. So the technical terminology I'm using is something that you're already aware of. Back, data sync is similar to replication. Both replication and data sync requires primary key in most of the cases for articles. Here we have geo-replication, which is actually similar to database mirroring, complete mirror. And we have server failover, similar to always on, wherein we have multi-database replication, complete database as it is. But it's only serverless, or it's all logical, virtual. Then comes physical infrastructure. physical components and clusters with domain controllers, Active Directories, and Windows cluster configurations. Then comes always on. This always on would be an HADR, high availability disaster recovery in virtual machines, whereas server failover would be a HADR activity or strategy for serverless components, or say virtualization components or logical servers. Yes, there are different implementations of SQL Server in Azure. Let's get started with them carefully. To be specific, there are three important options: logical, virtual, and other one called as managed instances. Let's put this way. Assume you upload an Excel file to Google Drive. You can see its content in your drive, right? But we don't know where exactly it was saved, where exactly it is stored. We don't know the physical path. That is logical server. We upload the database to cloud, but we don't really know where exactly it is stored, or what is the drive location, or the processor information, or the memory usage. We don't know. Everything logical. We can buy our own data center in Azure, or a personal computer with a physical and static IP address in Azure, that is VM. In between these two, we got managed instance. There are three different flavors to implement SQL Server in Azure. Let's understand what they are step by step. Let's stay tuned. Friends, I assume we are all very new to Azure, so that we are safe to continue the things, slowly getting on to step by step. So in the next class, we need to start our practice, and for that we need this basic introduction. Cloud, virtual environment to host any data or applications, easy, secured, and faster. Benefits: yes, no physical infrastructure, so low maintenance overhead, and no additional physical network or storage capacity planning to be involved. So simple and straightforward, just like lift and shift of data. We lift the data from on-premise non-cloud and shift it, transfer it to Azure cloud, a remote storage environment. Easy threat management and automated service pack or upgrades, and different levels of complex to very critical security implementations possible. We pay more, we get more. The universal truth. The same thing works for Azure as well. We pay more, we get more security, more performance. Well, and support open source technologies like NoSQL, Spark, USQL, etc. And we have different cloud providers: Microsoft Azure, GCP, Google Cloud Platform, AWS, Amazon Web Services, Salesforce, and so on. Azure, the Microsoft Cloud Platform, to host, secure, manage any type of applications. Like for example, one such application is SQL Server. Here we go. I'll just put this way. Let me just log into our Azure account, and let's see like how we can easily get on with SQL Server. Let's see now. Well, here we go. It would take some time to just let me get this one. And here, let me just log into the Azure account. In the meantime, back in Azure, we can create just like any other infrastructure or any other data center environment. Here as well, in Azure, we can define something called private networks, virtual private networks. Yes, in fact, that is the one we are going to do very soon for our cluster configurations. Next, we'll start creating networks, virtual networks or virtual private networks. Then we need to put some machines inside the virtual network, etc. So as an SQL DBA in Azure, we need to play few roles of network admin and few more roles of Windows or system admin as well. Here it is, we have servers, but here these are called logical servers. Logical, wherein we only know the server name and the logical location, but where exactly in India we don't know. In which drive the database are getting stored, we don't know. It's completely hidden. For example, take a particular database, we know what is there inside, but we don't know the physical drive, or is it C drive or D drive or the files, etc., the file size, etc. This is one option. Other option, I was telling few minutes back, there are three options, right? Here it is, friends. When we say Azure SQL, there are three different options now. One is completely logical, other one completely virtual. So first one logical, third virtual, wherein we can select the required operating system, the drives, processor, memory, and SQL server, which is again similar to, once you create the virtual machine, it is again similar to the yellow box. I mean, the on-premise knowledge we have, or the on-premise knowledge from chapters 1 to 27, as is applied in virtual machines. None of the green concepts will work in this virtual machine. Only the yellow box again. Back to our old game. But instead of getting our company's data center, physical data center, we're having a VM box. As simple as that. And the third one, managed instance, which is both yellow plus green mixed together. Yellow plus green mixed together, that would be a separate environment, a separate flavor called managed instance. Let me just color this way to make it more clear. Yes, so here we go. Let's put this way to make it more clear and simple. And let's not miss the highlights. Yes, friends, so here it is. So we have on-premise to be used again in VM as it is, no single drop or pin of difference. All green logical, dark green, light green virtual, applying again this yellow box, and managed instance is a combination of both yellow and green put together, something like this. So our course includes all three, and then we need to take a wise decision when to use which based on the customer's number one requirement, number two purchasing capacity, the billing power, the billable power, because each of these options, these three, have their own advantages and limitations. Every coin has two sides. For example, managed instance is very powerful, but minimum cost is 50K INR, and database, yes, it's not even 250 INR, 50,000 Indian rupees versus 250 rupees per month we are talking about. I'm talking about per month per database cost. So there's a lot of variation. For example, here it is, friends, the cost I'm talking about, say about 250 to 240 rupees to 250 rupees per month per database at minimum scale we are talking about. For example, there is something called basic plan, and here it is. They say 343. Again, we have some sponsorship discounts will be available next. And using sponsorship discounts, we'll be able to get additional discounts again. Something like this, like some sponsorship discounts would be available next, using which we can win more amount of discounts again. Well, back. So Azure is a vast, powerful platform that gives multiple options to host SQL Server. Whereas Google Cloud, AWS, they do support SQL Server, but it's only this box, virtualization only, not the other two flavors. Logical, managed are not there, only virtual machine. For example, we go to aws.com/SQL, and there we see Microsoft SQL Server on AWS. Yes, it is completely to virtualization. I mean, only one of those three flavors. Same way, cloud.google.com/SQL Server. Google also do support SQL Server, but again, into virtualization mode. Next, with this information back. So we are understanding what is cloud, benefits of cloud, and benefits of Azure Cloud, supporting three different options for us to choose. In general, compared to other clouds, we have cheaper pricing at Microsoft, highly scalable, easy integration with other open source as well as vendor-based technologies, and suits Windows as well as non-Windows platforms. So three different environments in Azure Cloud. Hence, we have three different flavors of SQL Server implementation. 100% cloud, we say SaaS, software as a service. 80% cloud and 20% non-cloud, platform as a service. And IaaS, infrastructure as a service, we have 50% cloud and 50% non-cloud, 50-50. In our course, we need to understand all these three items carefully. And to get into our actual green box, all these lines, both logical, virtual, and managed, please by heart these new technical terms. Logical, virtual, and managed. To go there, yes, we need to have 2019 or 2017 to be installed in our computers. Regular installation of database engine with minimal configuration. Only database engine is enough. If in case you are already aware of SQL Server installations, you are already aware of SQL Server installations, then in such a case, the server and tools, just make sure you get the server and tools, get them installed. Additionally, we need to run one more tool called Data Studio. So I assume you are already aware of the prerequisites. server and tools, and from this particular tool, Data Studio, and its uses, we need to continue next. So from our very next class, we'll understand about the required Azure tools installation. We require two additional tools called Data Studio tool and Storage Explorer tool. So total of 4 components to be loaded into your computer, and this is your lab plan. So your computer needs to be having server, SQL Server and SSMS tool for our next class, and we are going to understand from here the Azure Data Studio, Azure Storage Explorer, the tools, downloads, installations, and then configuring or creating our own Azure account. Yes, we can have a free Azure account. The free account given by Microsoft is enough for our practice. Next, the free account would be valid for 1 year, out of which 1 month of read-write access. And to activate that free trial, we need to have a credit card. So get your credit card ready. You will do the activation yourself, maybe during or after your next class anyway, step by step. Any card is fine. Generally they say credit card, but maybe on your name or your friend's name or whatever. Get some card ready. If in case you don't have it, you may log into your bank portal and apply and get an instant virtual credit card. That also works. So we have an SMS, email validation process while configuring the Azure account for security reasons. You would do it on your own. You would not be sharing the details with anyone. You'll do it on your own, and I'll provide you the step-by-step process on how to do that. Just a simple click with a URL and we are done. The account get activated. Then we need to slowly understand about the concepts on server, database, storage, and other things one by one. With this information, once again, I request you to revise all these yellow box concepts and to make it clear, just in case, data sync is similar to replication. Remember, geo-replication is similar to mirroring. We are going to practically understand them anyway. Comparisons I'm talking about. And apart from that, server failover is similar to always on in logical. Azure VM always on is entirely different again. It is similar to the regular always on in on-premise with clusters. And I said sharding. Sharding is similar to the partitioning mechanism, this one. And next, the tuning concepts. For the tuning concepts, the force plans are similar to execution plans. And automated tuning involves DTA, Database Tuning Advisor. And the other one I was talking about earlier is again pertaining to the tuning activities, DTUs, Data Transaction Units, pertain to our server architecture and the capacity of resources, memory, and yes, even linking of servers as well, wherein we call something called elastic queries. Here it is. E stands for elastic, nothing but the linking activities. But there it is linking of servers, here it will be linking of databases within the server. With this information, we are going to understand them with examples anyway and do the side-by-side comparisons with on-premise and Azure. That's very much required when we decide between the logical servers and the virtual machines. These comparisons are required. because virtual machines are nothing but the same yellow box in Azure. So more strong we are in the yellow box, more happy to implement the green box items logical as well as the light green virtual machines during the entire course. With this information, we'll stop for now, and I request you to make sure we have time. We should be having at least 1 hour every day to practice. There would be a day wise task items and day wise checklist activities that we need to perform. Though it is a weekend course, or Azure DB would be weekend course, as I was mentioning earlier, keeping in mind the clusters and migrations and other setup activities we need to perform during our classes. We need to sit for longer time. It's possible during weekends, say Saturday 2 hours, Sunday 2 hours. But that being said, still you would be having the daily task items without fail. Either you plan for a project for your resume or certification, either of them, yes, daily tasks would be involved. With this information, we'll stop for now, and in case of any questions, please do reach us.